Hey butterflies, this is Millen Haile, the owner of Millen's Occasion Talk Show. Our focus is to highlight entrepreneurs and business owners all over the world.
She was extremely energetic and just really vibrant. She was very encouraging, and I just love the atmosphere that she provided for someone like me.
So many small businesses are struggling and need help. There's no way you're going to start a business and try to do it all on your own. And that's exactly why we created this talk show that speaks to reality. Hey my butterflies, I'm your host, Millen Haile, and welcome to Millen's Occasion Talk Show. Crystal, thank you for joining me all the way from Connecticut. You're an author, you've been a filmmaker, you ran a nonprofit, you worked at STEM, developed a virtual reality game, and now comedy. And plus, I heard you're a great chef, which I'm a foodie, so we're definitely going to get into that. You wore many titles. Filmmaker, author, activist, and a CEO. But when someone asks, who is Crystal R. Emery? How do you answer that today?
That's funny. First, hello, Millen. I hope I said your name correctly. I think of myself, I'm like, I always say this. I don't know why I'm forgetting. But I am a alien, right? On a intergalactic journey, right? I chose the gender, the race, my situation to understand the relationship between God and form. In truth, though, I have energy and motion. I really am energy and motion. And the thing about being energy and motion, energy never dies, right? Science teaches us that. But it transforms itself into whatever it needs to be to continue its journey. So I'm an alien, but I love it.
Well, you're a beautiful, sexy alien. Can you share a bit about your journey into comedy?
Do you want the real story?
I want the real story, my dear.
The real story is that I was seeing this dude who loved comedy. I never liked comedy, right? I don't have that attention span, right? Like, I don't get the joke, right? But he loves comedy. So for Christmas, I bought him tickets to see. And I had told him last year, oh, I want to be a comedian. And he's like, oh, you should. But I never did anything about it. And we go to see the show, Buteau, and he raises his hand and he says, ask her a question. So I say, I want to do stand up, but I can't stand up. He said, come talk to me later after the show. And after the show, we went and talked to her. And she said, I'll give you 5 minutes tomorrow. Well, tomorrow happened to be January 22nd, my dad's birthday. And my father was so funny. And I miss him so much. And so I came home. I wrote some jokes. We showed up at the Bell House in Brooklyn. She gave me, time, and 300 plus people clapped. Wow. I was like, oh shit, I can do this.
Oh wow! And you were not intimidated or anything, like you just went on.
You know what? I've been reflecting for this interview. Mm-hmm. We just got back from Atlanta. I mean, literally on Monday. Okay. And we did a show in. I'm one of those people. You know how people say, oh, I want to write a book, or do a cooking show, or, oh, I'm going to, whatever it is. I always believe when somebody said that they really meant that's what they were going to do. It wasn't until I started growing up that I realized I don't talk air. I talk do.
Yeah.
Right? If there's something that my spirit says go do, I go do it.
There you go.
You know, I created a virtual reality game. I never played a virtual reality game in my life.
Wow.
I was meditating. I heard go make one. I was like, how? I didn't even know, but I know how to start with the idea to the finish line.
Hmm.
And we made this amazing virtual reality piece. So I'm a doer.
Wow.
I'm a
So
doer.
that was definitely the big gig that you started at that time. How the opportunity came.
Well, the Michelle Buteau
Oh.
night, the universe did it.
Mhm.
The next time we went out, we went to a comedy show, and there was a comedian there. You know what? D.L. Hughley,
I
right?
saw
We went
that. Yeah.
to
Congratulations. I
and
saw that. That was great.
we bumped into him. It wasn't like I was standing around like, hey, hey. And he said, what do you do? I said, I'm a comedian. He's like, yeah, really? I'm like, yeah. And you should let me open for you. And then
Wow.
the next night, I did. So the
That was amazing.
universe really said, this is what you should be doing.
Just exactly. And I know that feeling.
And,
I know
I'm
that
not going
feeling.
to answer the universe. I'm going to
And
go with the flow.
that's-
And it's wonderful. You know, I lived a lot of places in the world. And I have a lot of stories to tell.
I know.
Comedy allows you to take those stories and to share an experience. But at the base of that is a commonality that all people experience. All people experience fear. All people experience love. All
Definitely.
people experience uncertainty. But with comedy, you're able to take your most vulnerable self and make fun of it.
That is amazing. I know you mentioned about Michelle Buteau. Let me just say this. I love that lady. She is so funny. Oh my God. I
I
watched
love
that
you
show.
too. I remember too.
And you can tell that that's like her. I mean, how was that meeting her? Like she's like that, like a real person, just the way how she is on her TV shows.
You know what? She is love. She is
Mhm.
love. You meet some people. First of all, I am blessed. I am blessed by grace, right? So when we met her, everything was positive. Everything about her energy was just love. You know, she is very sure of who she is and who she is not. And when somebody is in that space, they can only empower the other people that they interface with. So she was really great.
Yeah.
And then later, when we had D.L. Hughley, he's like the dark side or the light side. You don't know what side you're getting.
Yeah.
Well, we got the good side, right? I have nothing but wonderful things to say.
Yeah.
But I also believe that I come with the energy that encourages the good in everybody. There's a word that I say when I greet people or when I end the conversation, and it's the word namaskar.
Mhm.
And it's a Sanskrit word, but it means the God within you honors the God within me, or the good within you honors the good within me. And I just try to live in that space,
Yeah.
and then other people live in that space.
Yeah.
I'm sure somebody helped Michelle somewhere along their way. And then she sent me my Instagram, right?
Yes.
When I told her my next show or whatever, and she said, "Knock 'em dead, bitch," or something, right? So I had to write her back and say, "You're the only person that ever called me a bitch, and that I actually liked it. So thank you."
Oh, and especially the way she said it, I'm sure. Oh, that is so funny.
So yeah, she was like,
Oh,
so it's good. It's all good.
Oh, I love it. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that with us. Do you remember the moment you realized you had the power to make people laugh?
Yeah, I wrote and directed my first play in fifth grade.
Wow.
So I grew up in public housing, and in our front yard was a field, and that field was my stage, and my brothers and cousins in my neighborhood were my actors.
Mhm.
And I would direct these comedy shows. Not that I was doing the comedy, but these little skits with my brothers and cousins. And at the end, we always, do you remember the Coca Cola song? I'd like to teach the world to sing. So it used to be a commercial. And at the end, we would all sing this song. I like to teach the world to sing in perfect harmony. And that was when I started directing, and my brothers are really funny. So we were naturally comedians.
Okay. Wow. It's definitely running in the family. That's it's
Yeah.
funny that you said that because my dad is a cook. My brother is also in the business into the restaurant, and then me as an entrepreneur, which never would say that about me, but it's just amazing how it just kind of flowed that way. And again, like you said, you know your passion, and this is my passion, like helping showcase some business entrepreneurs, which really is not that many for us that speak for us. So I definitely get that. Um, go back to the other one. Does your experience living
Well, I
with
have a
the
catering.
say that
I have
again?
a catering. I have a catering company,
You
and
do?
it's called. It is. It's called something for everyone. Okay, that is the ventilator in the background.
It's
So if you
okay.
hear that little beep beep, do not call an ambulance.
I
Okay.
was gonna say, wait a minute now. Do I need to go?
But I have a catering
Oh
company called Something for Everyone. I
wow.
wish
Okay.
we could bring it up on your screen, but
Oh, is it
um,
in Connecticut?
well, yeah, it's in Connecticut, but
Okay.
we specialize in vegan cuisine. So I used to ship desserts all over the country
Wow.
until we once sent the vegan cheesecake to Texas, get it melted. I
Because
forgot,
it has to be in a free. Yeah. My
right,
brother
right,
in law
right.
is a vegan. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Um,
Oh, that's
but
amazing.
cooking is, you know, people talk about what is a Black American princess, right?
Yeah.
And in my world, a Black American princess has to do the internship under a grandmother or an auntie or a great auntie, right? Because
Right.
you got to learn all their secrets, and then you modernize them, you know. So I took all their recipes and took out pork.
Wow.
God bless their souls. They're probably turning over in their fourth grade. Um, but yeah, so cooking is a form of art, right? You know, when you're making something, get the smells and the flavors, and then what it looks like, right? You know, you're
Exactly.
painting a picture, whether it's a 5 course meal or whether it's desserts. And it brings love. It brings love. And I try to bring love in all my
And
work, whether
thank you.
it's understanding uh, policy or whether it's understanding of healthy food and the fact that Black people are eating healthy in the Caribbean and in Africa
Mm-hmm.
before we came to America as slaves. So we need to make sure that we point that out.
Yeah.
So that's one
I'm
of the
so glad
many.
you're still bringing that out. I mean, what is it that you don't do? Oh my goodness, that's amazing.
I don't walk.
May God continue to bless you. um, what drives you to keep creating and telling stories, especially in an industry that often overlooks people with disabilities and especially Black women?
So you use some labels that I don't use, right?
Okay.
Or I don't think about. I
Yeah.
don't sit down and think about whatever I'm writing or producing.
Mhm.
Is it for Black people or Black women or people with disabilities? Like, you know, A lot of times when you're talking to a marketing person, they say, well, who is your audience?
Right.
My audience is everybody. Everybody that feels, everybody that loves, everybody that hates, right? Because these are the things we have in common. I don't sit down and say, oh, I'm writing this story. And I recently wrote a love story. I have a short stories I'm working on. And
Okay.
one of my friends said, well, you didn't say whether the characters were black or white.
Mm.
And I didn't even realize when I wrote it that I didn't apply those identity labels. I was more concerned in getting the love story down, the relationship between this man and this woman, a complex relationship. And so the work that I do, although it is influenced by my experiences of being a woman and being black and being disabled or whatever, it doesn't shape it that way.
Okay.
I let the story tell itself.
Okay.
I let the character do what they do. And then we dress it. And then we dress it with those labels.
Okay.
Did
I
I
appreciate
answer
that.
your
Thank you
question?
for explaining that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like the way you broke that down. Thank you. Um, what do you think? What are some common misconceptions about comedy?
That it's funny. I'm the worst. I'm like the worst. Right? Because I go to comedy shows. Get up like this, honestly.
Who is your comedy for, and who are you hoping to inspire to reach, especially as both comedians and an author?
Can you repeat that?
Sure. Who is your comedy for, and who are you hoping to inspire or reach, especially as both comedian and an author?
My comedy is for everybody.
Everybody. Okay.
I don't know. I tell jokes about my grandma,
Mm.
right? Who is like the coolest woman in my life. And she's a minister. And then I discovered that my grandmother was a polygamist, right? That she never divorced her first husband. I was like floored, right? So I did a whole comedy sketch about her, get
Mhm.
about perceptions, right? We look at you, Millicent, and we see, this woman. Okay, we go look at your bio. But is that really you,
Mm.
right? And so my comedy is about real things and people.
Okay.
You hear men always talk about sexual things, right?
I
So I
know.
did a joke about squirting, okay? And oh my God, I thought my family was gonna die. Well, I didn't learn the word squirting until later in my life, right? It's making me out of a squirter. I was like, oh my God, what does that mean?
Yeah.
And so as I was writing jokes, I thought, oh my God, this is a really funny story. Well, I didn't realize that there's not a lot of women comedians that talk about squirting.
Yeah.
And that the uncomfortableness of talking about your sexual experience,
Yeah.
or the fact that people don't expect a quadriplegic to talk about sex. I tell a joke. My hands are paralyzed, but my pussy works fine.
I
And
know.
that's true.
Hey, we're all
So
human here. Hello. Yeah.
yeah, we're human, and I tell very human jokes.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. And this is why you are loved, It, it's amazing. Like some people can take honesty and some people can't. But I've noticed, especially now, I think like the honesty is like, whoa. But don't even matter. You still be honest because there's someone out there that wants to hear that.
There's someone out there that wants to hear that, and then there's some people that don't want to hear
They didn't want to hear it.
it.
Yeah.
Right? So I tell a joke about yeah, I tried to get an Oscar, right? And oh God, what is the joke? Oh, you're right. What's the Oscar joke? Okay, I tell a joke about trying to get an Oscar,
Mm-hmm.
and they give Oscars to able-bodied actors for playing a disabled person. But how about a disabled person playing an able-bodied person? Or do I get an Oscar for just playing a regular disabled person? Like, give me the damn Oscar, however you want to cut it. So you laugh at what is painful so that you can digest it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And you laugh at what is funny. You know, people see me in a wheelchair, getting like, oh my God, oh, whatever. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I have a fabulous fucking life.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, chill. Do I want to be in a wheelchair? No. Is this easy?
No.
No. Am I going to stop living? No.
No.
No. Life is good. Life is wonderful. There
Yeah.
are worse things that can happen because you can experience this without love,
Right.
right? I have a lot of love in my life.
Oh, I definitely
So
see
it's
that.
all
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. I definitely see that. Thank you. Um, is there any other comedians that you look up to or draw inspiration from?
You know, I always liked Whoopi, right? Um, because her jokes have meaning. You know, they're just not. I like D.L. Hughley, you
Yes.
know, because his jokes tell a story. Um, yeah, and then oh my God, it's this Indian guy. I forgot his name. Oh
I
shit, I
think I know who
love
you're
this
talking
guy.
about. I just
I
can't
looked
remember
at his
either.
Netflix special.
Yeah.
Uh, I think I looked at it like twice. And he takes the ethnicity
Hmm.
of his experiences and makes you laugh.
Yeah.
Because aren't all parents like his parents? You know? So
Yeah, I can't remember his name, but I think I know who you're talking about. And of course, then when he mentions about parents, of course, from being different culture, I was like, oh my God, yes, that's exactly how my parents are. So he speaks the truth. It is, and we
yeah,
still laugh about it because it is true, like you can't leave the house, without getting married, especially for women. And I'm sure, and I think I heard him mentioning that. So yeah, like you said, a story, and that's what reflects with us. Appreciate that. Do you have any personal boundaries around the kinds of jokes you do or don't tell?
he said,
I'm so okay. Yeah. Do you have any personal boundaries around the kind of jokes you do or don't tell?
no, I don't have any personal boundaries around the jokes that I tell or don't tell.
Okay.
Because once I was a actress or started seeing my name in print,
Mhm.
people are going to make assumptions,
Yeah.
right? So, I did a show in April because my sister is a Jehovah's Witness, and I love my sister Renee.
Hmm.
So she was like, if you cuss. So I did a whole clean show, right? Not one cuss word. So at the end, I said, oh my God, now this is fucking over. I can go back and be my regular self. Uh-huh. But, you know, this is my stories,
Yes.
right? And they may not work for you, but they do work for somebody. There
Hmm.
is a audience that understands and can identify with my style of comedy.
Right.
And I think it's important to be honest. Like I talk about having a home health aide, right?
Hmm.
And I call it the coochie technician, right? So I do this whole routine about, Have you ever had a coochie technician? And how terrible it is to give your power and your coochie over to somebody else. But Ray Linda would clean my coochie. She'd wash it, turn it over, and smack it. And the whole thing is to let people see the realities of the life that I'm living. But then on the other hand, I do a joke about black men and big lips,
Yeah.
right? And you either have those Jay-Z lips that look like they're gonna swallow your face, or you have Dwayne Wade lips that you want to swallow your face. And then you got them little tiny, tiny lips that you go, oh my God, why did I ever kiss that guy? Right? But a kiss is how you get to second base, right? You got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
So I
Gotta
tell
start
those
somewhere.
sorts of
That's funny. That's amazing. Do you feel the industry is becoming more exclusive, or is there still work that needs to be done?
you know what? You asked the question before about industry or how I create. I don't care what the industry is doing.
Okay.
The industry was never designed for me. Never. So why do I care what they're doing? I care about what I'm doing. And I have had audiences, millions of people, whether they've seen my films, whether they've read my children's book, whether they've come to somewhere where I was a keynote.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not worried about what the industry is doing because anybody to define my capableness. And I was born that way. I came from Black people that believe you define yourself, you create your path, and then you go do it. So I am not stuck about what or how others measure success because my success is that I got up out of bed today.
Mm-hmm.
My success is that I get to do things I love to do. And my success is that I get to inspire people to step outside of their little box,
Yes.
right? To think about something a little differently, to remove those barriers that we set up to protect ourselves, but they also keep us away from growing. So when you come to meet me, whether it's theater or whether it's movies or whether it's a cooking show,
Yeah.
you're coming to meet somebody that just believes that love triumphs.
Okay.
And I try to be like that every day.
Thank you. That's amazing. Thank you for that. What advice would you give up to a upcoming comedian, and then trying to break the space?
That's a funny question. And my answer is not about comedy. It's about anything.
Okay.
As I said, this world was not designed for me. I am a Black woman who loves being a Black woman. So I wore braids in Hollywood before they were popular.
Mm.
Okay? I am a filmmaker who understands the value of images, right? So when you take all of that, and I'm a storyteller, I agree. I am what the villagers go to listen to the history of, of their tribe. What I tell people is, do you, do you, you know, understand your craft, right? Because I didn't know how to write a joke. So I
Mm.
went and got some books that said, oh, the formula. Okay. Now that we know the equation, you got to pour something in the equation.
Yeah.
But whatever it is that you love, whether it's comedy or cooking or filmmaking or writing or math, whatever the hell it is. I'm working
Yeah.
with a guy that wants to be everything in his world says he can't be a pilot. I say you could be a pilot, baby. Come on, let's go through the steps. What you gotta do.
Yeah.
And that's like being a good comedian. Whatever it is you want to do, just go do it.
Do it.
And if you're supposed to do it, the universe will support you.
That's awesome. Thank you. You're also an accomplished author. Where do you get your ideas for your books?
Girl, you don't want to know. I have two. Just living, just
Mhm.
living.
Yeah.
Just last night when we came in and sat in my yard, and my friend, he's planting me some flowers, and he dug up all this stuff. Looks like the gophers had a party in my yard. And but I was just looking at the trees and listening to the silence and just being amazed at how
Yeah.
wonderful life is and how it is the simple things, the simple things. And these are ideas of things to write about.
Yeah.
I wrote a children's book,
Oh wow.
Little Man's Fourth Grade Journey. And I had my elementary students read it.
Okay.
Well, somebody said, shouldn't they get copyright? I said, what are you talking about? They said, well, you stole their stories. I said, I didn't steal their stories. Those are my stories. And
Mm-hmm.
they said, oh, the story about the squirrel is your story? I'm like, yeah, it is. I was on my porch one day, and I lived in a very urban neighborhood. So we had really urban squirrels. I mean, these squirrels were gangster. And I watched the
Yeah.
squirrels get a dishcloth out of the garbage, carry it up a post, across the electrical lines, across the street, through some other lines, into somebody's house where they had invaded a little area on the second floor. And I just was watching them for a good 2 hours. And I wrote a story about these little boys watching a squirrel build a nest, right? That
Mm-hmm.
was my experience. I just turned it into a story for kids. So I write what I see, I write what I know.
There you go. Yeah, and that's something that we all need to kind of go, to accomplish. I know because some folks be like, "My God, Mila, you can write a book." I'm like, "Ooh, where do I even begin?"
That's not it. Where do I begin? So I take little myself. I'd love to write a whole piece on erotica, but I pick little parts of it
Hmm.
because the big part is overwhelming. Sometimes I look at my life and I go, whoa,
I know.
whoa, you did all that? What? And you can imagine when I walked, at one point I had an apartment in 3 places.
Mm.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, yeah. Tell us when is your latest release?
Okay, book. Uh, Without a Trace. I had to think about which one. Without a Trace, we do a book signing in June in New Haven, Connecticut. Right there. Without a Trace, yes. And it took me 20 years to write that story.
Wow.
You know, I would write and then I would go back to work. I'd come back, take time to write. Then I would rewrite. And that story is about love on so many different levels. Love between the man and the woman,
Okay.
love between you and your memory, right? Because how we remember the past is not exactly how it really happened,
Hmm.
right? So what happens when your past comes back 20 years later and says, hey, I'm here, remember? Well, you disappeared without a trace. Am I supposed to really just jump back into that? But it's also about a relationship with the young woman and her grandmother, right? It's about love. And with her and her brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
And it took me 19 years
Wow.
to
And you
write
did it.
that with a lot of help because my hands are paralyzed.
Yeah.
So they type, I talk. They type, I talk. And
Yeah.
but it really is an amazing story about the triumph, the love,
Yeah. I read
the
it from
ghost of our.
one. Yeah, one through seven, and it just I can tell I can't even put it down. I was like, oh my god! The minute like when I have break from work, I'm like I have to go back and just like stop. I'm a highlighter, so if it's something that interests me, I highlight it and then I can go back and read it. Yeah, I
Thank
can't wait to
you.
finish reading it. Yeah,
Thank you.
you did good. I was like, oh my god, so she did all this. Yeah, you're amazing. Um, what are some of your goals over the next year, whether it's in comedy, writing, or something new?
Uh, I'm sure that my people are going to say, we're going to write you an answer for that question.
Okay.
Um,
Oh, I totally get it. I
True.
get that.
I
um,
thought that I would not live. I was very sick. 2021, 2022,
mhm,
into 2023.
mhm.
And I prepared literally to die. You know, I put everything in order and got a checklist. But what I didn't do was prepare to live, right? Like all of my doctors, they're like, okay, you have this disease, you got this infection, you got this, you know, like this is it. And in 2 years, I spent over 29 weeks in and out of the hospital, several hospitals. And, you know, I represent the triumph of the human spirit. But I put everything in order, but I didn't plan to live. So now I got to plan on living, right?
Mhm.
So I'm
Yeah.
doing this comedy. I just released a book, you know. Oh, what other things can I do in the next year?
Hmm. Oh, believe me,
So that's what I'm doing.
you're
I'm
not done.
figuring out how to live.
Yeah, that's right. Figuring out how to live. I love it. Um, what do you hope people take away after experiencing your work?
The power of the human spirit to make change, and that we have choices. You have a choice. Don't ever, ever feel like you don't have a choice
Yeah.
because you have a choice. And you could choose the well of love, or you could choose the well. I choose the well of love, or I try to choose the well of love because I'm human. And you make mistakes, things you don't even know are mistakes. But I try to live an honorable life. And if you do that, nothing is wrong. You know, you may not get what you hoped for. You know,
Hmm.
there's a statue of me, right?
Yeah.
And I would have never thought that there would have been a statue that a little black girl that grew up in Brookside housing projects, right? There's a journey out there that's waiting planned. It's better than what you could have planned. You
Yeah.
just got to do your work and be prepared. So that's what I tell people. Preparation and hard work equals success.
Exactly.
Sprinkle a little love on that,
There
you're
you
good
go.
to go.
Yeah, and of course you deserve a statue. I mean, you done amazing. You know, look, you're gonna have kids writing about you. I already told my niece. I was like, you want to write about this lady because she's going to a sophomore, and I'm kind of like pushing her to start writing about people that that really worked hard and folks that we don't even know about. And I was giving her some names, and she's like, "Oh, okay." I said, "Yeah, I'm telling you, you got to do that because we are here to tell their
Inspiration,
stories." Yeah. Mm-hmm.
inspiration from our heroes. You
Yeah.
know, for me, my grandmother is my hero.
Yeah.
You know, like I watched her go to work every day. I never heard her tell a lie. I never saw her try to cheat someone. And and she committed her life to God. And I always say, I want to be like that. Is what I contribute. I need to know that the space that I took up, the air that I breathe, I'm giving something positive back. And that is what I do. I don't think about what I'm creating. In meditation, I hear, oh, go do this, or oh, go do that. And a lot of times I've done things that I didn't know how to do. But there is always somebody that can teach you. And I've had great teachers. And I've had great teachers among our people. I'm introducing my friend wants to be a pilot. But I'm introducing him to Bernard Harris. And Bernard Harris is like, you know, this black astronaut, right?
Mm-hmm.
That
Mm-hmm.
walked in space, that this amazing man that lives in Texas. And we don't even know about him, right? We don't even know that he exists. But he is paving a way for younger black pilots
Wow,
and women pilots. So each one teach one, you know, share, pass it forward.
that's amazing. Oh my God, I don't even want to end this because you've just been so great. Our and conversations coming soon, but I do want folks to know where can they find your journey in your all social media platforms like TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and website if you have one.
Oh, I think that, oh my goodness, they're going to get in trouble. You can find Crystal R. Emery. And I think that's the handle, the social
Okay,
media for everything.
okay,
But all you got to do is Google it and it'll
that's
show up because, I get around, I get around, I get around
oh yeah.
in a good
I saw
way.
your bio. It's so amazing. I saw Mr. Gregory Hines. I was like, oh my God, that handsome man. How did she find him?
You know what? Gregory is my inspiration.
Mhm.
There's a picture of me and him. Um, I worked with him on Rage in Harlem. After the show that I did theater, he would send me a bouquet of flowers. He loaned me usage on Planet Hollywood to throw my show's opening night party. Gregory Hines employed young black artists. People don't know this about him, but if he was making a film, he had it written that there had to be a certain percentage of people of color that were hired behind the scenes. And he was a great mentor to me, a great mentor.
Oh yeah, what a pleasure. That's awesome. That's really awesome. Before I forget, the crystalemery.com, is that also where they can get their tickets and your books?
You can find anything about me at
Okay.
Crystal or Emery
Okay.
or
Okay. Because I want to make sure
thank
they
you,
find
right
you.
about. You know what? I meant to put a sign up. I'm sorry, that part I'm not good at.
It's okay. Yeah. We got you. We'll take care of it from here. But I just want to
Thank you.
say it was a pleasure to really meet you. I can't wait to meet you in person. And hopefully one day I can come to one of your shows. That would be so good. Just, do what you do. Thank you for inspiring us. You definitely inspired me on so many things. And I know you're going to continue to help others out there. They'll just thank you for everything that you are doing, and may God bless you.
Well, thank you for having me on your show.
Oh,
Thank you for the work
it's
that
my honor.
you're
Seriously, it's like
doing. Yeah,
it's my
no,
honor.
it goes both ways. And please know this to your listeners, to your folks.
Hmm.
Don't let somebody steal your joy.
Hmm.
Like joy is a internal thing. Happiness is something that happens and it might fade away. But joy is everlasting. And I'm not letting anybody steal my joy. I'm here. When I wake up, I say, God, I'm thankful for another day. And then I try to see where am I led to go. It doesn't always work, but when it does work, you get magic. And everybody possesses magic.
Yeah.
So that's me.
Thank you for leaving us with that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so
Namaskar.
much. Thank you, Mr. Thank you.